Okay. Once again, I'm gonna stream some Ever 17 to probably no one because everybody's asleep right now. But I just wanted to get it kind of out of the way. Alright. So, we are playing the kid, and we're on Yu's strategy line. The summary from the last episode is we had a revelation that Sara is a hacker, and that will probably come up later. They threw away the tuna because no one knew how to cut it up, which I would have been able to. I don't mean to brag, but I know how to cut fish up, thank you. Sugumi is not really having any of it, more so than the Takeshi route, and she's kind of being a jerk, but it's okay. She probably has her reasons. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. We played Kick the Can again. But this time, we were all in the room when the can was kicked, and we don't know who did it, so that's kind of spooky. Let's see. Kid had a face-to-face moment with Sara and looked at her tongue. That was a weird moment, I guess, just observing her tongue. I don't know why you would do that. Don't do that. It's gonna make me, like, look at other people's tongues now. There's a second mention that Takeshi can't see in the dark. So it's kind of weird. He doesn't really have, like... His eyes are very sensitive in that he can't see in the dark too well. And we've established that, like, a couple of times, which makes me wonder, like, when we were playing as Takeshi, like... Did we miss things in the dark that we couldn't see, possibly? In our playthrough as Takeshi... There was a point where he had eaten hot dogs, and it was a surprise in the back of the fridge. But in this playthrough, they were stolen. Ooh, spooky. Yu and Sara, they apparently know each other from school and from the hacker club, where we established that Sara is just kind of an all-around genius. Okay, let's get into it. Alright. Takeshi says, "No kidding? No kidding." Jeez, that's crazy. We had just gone through like a whole story with Sara and Yu's past, and Sara had like destroyed their school's computers. That's all. Well, Nakyu was so persistent that it was annoying. Yeah, but you didn't have to. So, Sara didn't join? What? Then that would mean... No, it's the opposite. I didn't say she didn't join, did I? After that, Nakyu came bothering me, like, every day. Even though she did that to your computers? It's because she did that. Basically, you had taken the side... was taken by Sara's genius. By her genius for programming. Day after day, her fixation drove her to call on Sara. Finally, Sara was overwhelmed by Yu's enthusiasm and joined the club. That was how Mayo and I became friends. Okie dokie. Oh, good. There's music. Well, I hope you can hear the music because there wasn't any music for a little bit. I had to cut out early because I was exhausted from the last one. I'm gonna take a sip.
Music please.
Oh, that's good to know. Alright. With that long story finally over, we all stretched. Well, we finished eating. What do you say? Should we head back to the conference room? Sure. Sugumi hadn't eaten, but there was no point in waiting around for her. We took her sandwich back to the conference room. I'm gonna step out for a bit. Huh? Where to? Just a little walk. Hey, you keep poking your nose into a girl's privacy and she might start disliking you. You shrugged and patted me on the head. What about me? Sorry, Mayo. I think I'll go alone. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll just be right back. You shot the dejected Sara a smile as she headed quickly towards the door. Hey, I don't care where you go, but if something happens, you come right back. You shot Takeshi a thumbs up on the way out the door. It's 6:38 a.m. Wow. I didn't realize it was that early. I think it's because it's so late here. Anyway. She was on the way to the conference room. Ah! I looked up at the ceiling. What's that? I had thought I had seen something for a second, but when I had done a double take, I didn't see anything. Hey, what's wrong? Even with Takeshi calling out to me, I didn't tear my eyes from the ceiling. I wonder. I don't know what it is, but I swear I saw something. Saw something? Like what? Well, I don't know. I didn't really see it. I just have a bad feeling about the second floor, somewhere. What the heck are you talking about? I think we should check that floor one more time. Saying that, Takeshi slapped me on the shoulder. Suddenly, I came back to myself. Hey, don't worry about it. If something's up, Sara would have warned us about it, right? Yeah, you're right. But still. It looks like I'm not the only one who's tired. Yeah. I wondered if that was really all it was. I tried to remember what I had seen while I was walking, but it was like waking up after a dream and having the dream slip away. I couldn't remember it. When we returned to the conference room, Tsugumi was there. And to our surprise, she was eating. Oh! Oh my! Ah! I don't know why they're all surprised. It's a fucking girl eating. Okay. The reason we were all so surprised was because Tsugumi was eating a hot dog. She's eating a hot dog! Oh! Scandalous. The hot dogs were missing from the fridge, but Takeshi was like, who stole the damn hot dogs? And we thought it was a mystery and maybe it was spooky, but here we go, Tsugumi's just eating them. No one's saying anything. What? You thief! What are you so mad about? Tsugumi was indifferent. That just served to fuel Takeshi's fury. I thought everyone was sick of tuna sandwiches and here I was gonna make, and you... Just calm down. I just tried to calm them down, but Tsugumi was continuing to munch on her hot dog without a care. I think that's pretty selfish of you to keep them all to yourself. You selfish pig! I hope you get fat like a whale and drown in the Mariana Trench, you hog! All to myself? Tsugumi polished off the last bite and turned to face Takeshi as she wiped her hands. I'm not sure what you're talking about. This is the only one that I ate. What? When I looked, there was enough for everyone. And now they're all gone. And in that soon-to-be fat stomach of yours. Well, I didn't really count how many there were. Maybe the rats got them. You pathetic liar! The only rat here is you! Takeshi's fury only grew while Tsugumi stayed calm. She brushed her hair, away the hair from her forehead and stood quietly. I'll ask you one more time. Why are you so mad? I told you it's because you ate everyone's food. And I told you this was all I ate. Besides, Tsugumi glared at Takeshi. Are you sure that's the real reason that you're angry? What are you talking about? Are you sure it wasn't because I threw off your schedule? Schedule? Yeah, well, because the hot dogs that I wanted everyone to eat are gone now. Tsugumi stared unflinchingly at Takeshi. The two glared at each other. Sara and I were in no position to step in between the two. All we could do was watch and see what happened. It was then that... Suddenly, a low metallic sound reverberated throughout the complex. I'm gonna skip ahead. We know what's happening. There's a bulkhead, I guess, like, imploded or something crazy. There's no way that she could have missed that, says Sara. Do you know where she is? I'm sorry, unfortunately some sensors are out of order right now. I can't scan the whole complex. I wondered what happened to you. Hey, kid, will you go look for Nakyu? Huh? Me? Yeah, I'm a little worried about her. I was also worried about Sara and everyone going off like that. An extra set of hands couldn't hurt. Takeshi, I'll go have a look around for you. Alright, it's in your hands then, kid. If something comes up, use Limit to contact me. Alright, see you later. I ran through the corridor, kicking up spray as I went. I guess we're gonna go find out where Yu is, because we don't know where she is. It's 6:57 a.m. Yu! Hey, you! It was strange. I thought that maybe she wasn't on that floor. Just then, Sora's voice came from me from the voice converter. Kid-san, it's me, Sara. I know where Tanaka-san is. She's fine, of course. Where is she? Spiderstock, in the security office. What? Security office? Why is she there again? I don't know. Tanaka-san contacted me about her whereabouts. Got it. Then I'll go to the warehouse as well then. No, that will not be necessary. Why not? Fortunately, the extent that I have been able to investigate, there was no major damage. Sora added that there were enough people to do the required work. It would be better for you to go to Tanaka-san's location. To where you is? Yes, something is strange there. Strange? I can't say for sure, but I sense something. So I think that someone should go investigate. Would it be better if you went instead of me? If something was strange, I don't know what I could do. I'm sorry. Unfortunately now I must go to the control room. Control room? Is something else wrong? No. I have a little maintenance on Leme. I see. I'm sorry, but do you think you can manage it for me? Sure. I don't have anything better to do. Alright, I'm off to check you in the security office, right? Yes, thank you. I climb the second floor via the emergency stairs. It's 7:06 a.m. I call to you via the intercom on the side of the security office door. You! It's me! Can I come in? Huh? Kid? After a bit, the door opened. Oh, what's up? What are you doing here? Yu was unable to hide her surprise. Sora was right. Strange might have been the word for it. Sora told me to come. Sora? Yeah, she said that something was strange and that she wanted me to take a look. I couldn't think of a better way to put it and just blurted out the truth. Is this a bad time? Yu slumped her shoulders as if defeated and heaved out a sigh. Oh, well, I guess that's just how it goes. If you think about it, Sora has ears everywhere. Well, quit standing there. Come on in. Alright. Do you want some coffee? I followed you into the room. It smelled like hot coffee. In the corner of the room was an ancient siphon coffee machine percolating up dark liquid. Yu offered me a chair, and I sat down. She turned to the coffee maker to pour coffee. What are you up to in here? I asked Yu that bluntly as I leaned back in my chair. I'm looking into something. Looking into something? White steam curled in the air where she was pouring the coffee. Is this something that you have to hide from everyone? I thought it came out a little too accusatory. Maybe I was a little peeved that she was hiding something from us. Here's your coffee! She turned back and turned to me with a white cup in her hand. She handed one to me. It's hot, so be careful. Oh, thanks. A white cup, white steam. Only liquid inside was black. Lima's logo was printed on the cup. Well, where should I start? Yu sat down next to me and took a sip of her coffee. She gradually started to talk. I told you before, right, about why I got this job at Lemu? I'm looking for clues about my father who disappeared. I nodded. He went missing 17 years ago, and I came hoping to find a hint as to why. You said that the last place he was seen in was Lemu, right? Oh, are you investigating that? Yes. Yu nodded and shifted the cup to her other hand. Information about my father. It was 17 years ago. They say there was a big accident here. Accident? I don't really know much about it, but even looking into old news clippings, I wasn't able to gather much information. What do you mean? The cause of the accident, specific damage, or what happened afterwards. All the coverage was vague. And I figured that the media didn't really know the details about what happened either. Somebody or something powerful clamped down on the information. That is interesting. An accident 17 years ago shrouded in mystery. And my father who disappeared 17 years ago. He worked here until right before the accident. guess some of what happened from what we already know. You think that the accident had something to do with the disappearance of your father? That's right. I thought that in Limit, there would be some trace. That's why I came. But since I started working, I haven't had any time to look into it. I couldn't even get close to Limit's database. I guess it makes sense. I was pretty naive. The chair squeaked as you slumped back in it. She just stared at the ceiling. But you know what? Opportunity knocked. Opportunity? You don't mean this accident? Yep. You placed the cup next to the console. Now I have access to Limit. Thanks to the accident, I've been able to get a step closer to my goal. Well, I suppose I also put my life in danger, but... You joked, shrugging her shoulders. I'll ask you one more time, but did you have to keep it all a secret? That's a toughie. I mean, I work here, but I don't have any authority. It's just my part-time gig. Taking advantage of the accident to gain access to the secret information in Lemu? Normally, you might call this kind of looting, right? That's right, stealing information. It's a pretty decent crime. But I suppose that there's no way that I could have kept it hidden. Sara knows everything that goes on relating to Limit. I think that she would be able to understand your situation if only you would just explain it to her. I wonder about that. You growled as she put the cup to her lips. I took a sip of coffee too. It was super bitter and super thick. So, did you find anything out? That's the problem. Alright, now we get a special illustration of you at the computer typing into her name, Yukie Tanaka, instead of the long name, I guess. And then it says password, which I think is maybe German for password. Alright, tap, 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 tap. Saying that, you started tapping on the keyboard. One of the monitors on the wall shifted from footage of an observation camera to an image of a computer desktop. In the middle of it, one window was open. You explained as she stared at the screen. This is the authorization screen to connect to this network. Authorization screen? This is where the system accesses the user for proper authorization. I see. I think that's just called a login, but it's okay. I felt like I kinda got it, but not really. I'm attempting to connect... this is hard to read. I'm attempting to connect to Limit's sea level, meaning I'm trying to access classified information. But if anyone could easily access important data, it would be a security disaster, right? Probably. That's why there's a screen on this computer and asks, hey, who's trying to look at this? As she spoke, you used the mouse to click on the box for name. Inside the box were written the words Yukie Tanaka. Of course there's no way I could access the system using my name, so I'm going to be using someone else's name to get in. But anyone might try to think that, right? I suppose so. Obviously, the people who programmed this aren't stupid, so to prevent false authorization, they have methods to check people's identities. The screen then says, if you really are Tanaka Yukie, please show me your password. Why are we explaining how logins work? Okay, fine. I mean, I needed to use a login to turn on my computer so I could play this stupid game. It doesn't matter. You then used the mouse to circle around the box for password. It was still blank. And what about the password? I'm working on that right now. What? You don't know it? I don't know it. So you haven't looked up anything yet? It's not that I haven't. I just haven't been able to. I haven't been able to get in. So you're stuck. Yep, stuck. You nodded and gave a big sigh. Tap, 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 tap. After a second's pause, you was back to tapping on the keyboard. There was nothing for me to do, so I just sat there watching you do her thing. From her fingertips, a password was entered into the input field. Tap, 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 tap. Oh cool, we get to see the asterisks as if she's typing. The digits she typed in were blocked out by asterisks, so that anybody was watching didn't know what the word was. You finished her input and hit the enter key. Beep! Access denied. Invalid name or password. But you immediately tapped in another line of letters. Tap, 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 tap. Access denied. Invalid name or password. Tap, 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 tap. Hey, you. What? I was just wondering, who's Tanaka Yukie? Looking at the name, I was wondering, is she a relative or something? She's my mom. Your mom worked here? Works. She's working here, as in the present tense. Hey, your mom researches archaeology, right? You said something about it yesterday, I think. Yeah? So what? You answered, her eyes still glued to the computer. But archaeology has nothing to do with theme parks, right? My thoughts exactly. But I figured that Leimu could probably offer her a lot more money than some small university research department with next to no budget. Is Leimu doing some sort of archaeological research? Well, it's pretending to at the very least. It seems like they're doing a survey related to the ruins of the Lemurian continent. Near the end of the 20th century, some oceanic ruins were discovered near Okinawa, right? Labelic Pharmaceuticals spread the rumors that these ruins were somehow evidence of the existence of Lemuria, and they poured loads of cash into the archaeological survey of the seafloor. I had no idea what the company is up to. Your mom was involved in that project too? Apparently. I don't know the details, but I think it's all just an act. I think she's just trying to take the money and research something else. Something else? I told you yesterday, didn't I? The ancient idea of the third eye. Your mom sounds sneaky. Well, she is. Still, I think I understand how she feels. Even if you've dug up all the ocean floors of the world, there's still no way that you could find the ruins of the Lemurian continent. Everyone knows that it's a complete waste of time. Even the higher-ups at Labelic Pharmaceuticals probably know. But they still want to go about pretending to do research. I wonder why. It does sound like a waste of time. Who knows? It's a company, and it's a company we're talking about, so I'll bet it has to do with money. There's no way for us to know, and I don't really care. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, that's right. I've been meaning to ask you, but... What do you think your mom is researching? What do you mean you think What do you mean that your mom is researching the third eye? In a nutshell, it basically means that a dimension of value n may only be understood in its entirety when viewed from a dimension at least n plus 1. What? I like that the music cut out because it's like, what the fuck did you just say? It didn't sound very basic to me. What did she mean? Essentially, only by gaining the sense of the fourth dimension can we really fully sense the whole of what's going on around us. I had no idea what she was talking about. Like when the third eye was opened up or something. Yu's hand stopped typing there for an instant and she popped her neck loudly. She reached out for her cup and took a sip of coffee. I think yesterday you said something about evolution. About losing that organ thingy on the head. No. Not there. It's here. It's called the third eye and it has to do with supernatural powers. It's like the third eye on the forehead of a Hindu god, Shiva. Like the way they say in yoga about the Agya chakra, or the third eye chakra, or the astral light training by sages. Or like the esoteric Buddhism with the famous monk Daishi's ascetic training and invoking the Kokuzo deity of space through the Kumonjiho. I'm so sorry. Like the all-knowing eye in the Tibetan Tantric Buddhism. I felt like I was being bombarded with exotic words. Conversation had completely left me behind. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but when the third eye opens, true wisdom is apparent, and it all becomes visible. At least that's what they say. That's if the story is real. Okay, let's see. That means, in summary, it goes something like this. Your mom is researching an ancient concept called the third eye or third perspective, and once someone has acquired the third eye, they can sense the fourth dimension and see the world, the whole of the world. And that is in line with the legend of the third eye. That should be about it. Well, to hear my mom tell it, the third eye and the third perspective are the same. I don't quite get it. Why would the sense of the fourth dimension allow for someone to understand the whole world? Or why the sense of the fourth dimension is necessary? Like, we're seeing the world the way we are right now. I don't get the connection between the third eye or the third perspective and the fourth dimension. There were lots of things I didn't get. The whole concept seemed to be beyond my understanding. Alright, break's over. Tap, 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 tap. So she's just like not going to explain. You started working again without answering my question. Hey, you. Sorry, let's make that the end of today's lecture. The explanation from here is pretty hard. And it's pretty obvious I'm busy, right? If you really want to know next time, I'll explain in a really easy to swallow way. You didn't say anything more. Okay. I decided to give up for the time being. I remembered I was still holding the cup. I figured not drinking it would be a waste, so I drank it down. Oh. Ugh, this is so bitter. And it was completely cold, too. Wow. Oh, I give up. You muttered that and looked down dejectedly. She leaned back in a chair and it squeaked. In the end, she hadn't found any new clues. Actually, she hadn't gotten past the authorization screen. Access denied. Invalid name or password. That message had been displayed again and again, and it still sat in the middle of the screen. Ugh. You was really down. So, you didn't get it. The password. Nope. You don't have any ideas? Like what? I mean, when somebody sets a password, it's usually a word that has to do with them. A birthday, or a phone number, or something short. Even somebody that wanted to think of something nobody would know would probably come up with a phrase related with their past. I mean, there's almost nobody that uses a meaningless combination of numbers and letters. If they did, they probably would forget it. And if they forget it, then a password is meaningless. I know that. I tried all the things I could think of. I tried the backwards, as an anagram, all the possible patterns I could imagine. But it's no good. I'm just a normal person when it comes to computers. I'm no hacker or cracker. I don't have any illegal programs and I can't just type out one right now. You struck her hands up in the air, signaling her surrender. I know, Sara could probably do it, right? And remember that Sara was a top-level hacker. You said that Sara took the first prize at some code-breaking contest, right? I bet you she'll make a password-breaking program. Maybe. You didn't seem keen on the idea. Well, why don't you ask her? I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to involve her in any of this. I thought that maybe she was still concerned about the criminal element of the idea. But you don't mind getting me involved? Well, you came and involved yourself. I suppose. But at that rate, you was probably wouldn't find a clue during her lifetime. I wanted to help her out, as a way of thanking her for helping me. There's just one clue. You took a piece of paper from atop the console. What's that? This was inside my mom's machine. I sneaked into the research room before coming here. I was looking for clues about my father, of course. When I went in, I saw that her computer was on. Looking at it, I saw that there was a text file entitled Password. Uh-oh. I don't know why the thing is bugging. When I had opened it, it was only one line. There was some Japanese sentence typed inside it. Then you saw the password. Sure, I saw it. But I don't remember it. What? I was in a hurry. I tried to take note of it before I was found out. But I didn't see a pen or anything around. And there was no discs or anything that I could copy it to. I guess this is all from the perspective of you. Thinking about it now, I should have sent it to myself by an email. But I was in a rush and I didn't think about it then. Suddenly, I thought that I'd try to print it out. And as soon as it stopped printing, my mom came back. I snatched the paper that was in the tray and I jammed it in my pocket. Huh? What do you mean? So the paper you have now is the one with the password on it? You held out the paper without saying anything. Huh? What's this? Oh. Looks like a barcode. This doesn't look like a barcode to me, but I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna do something. Ah, yeah. It's definitely the thing I thought it was. Most of you people who have ever played a puzzle game, that is exactly what it is. Barcode? It looks like it, but it seems different than normal barcodes. It's got 10 lines? Yep. What does this have to do with anything? Who knows? About how many characters were in that password? You said it was in Japanese, right? How many characters was it? I don't remember. Maybe 10 characters, give or take? Was it all written in Japanese? Any numbers? I'm pretty sure it was just Japanese. I just don't remember any numbers or anything else. I wonder which end of this is the top. You got me! Or it could be written vertically. No way. If you printed out a text file, would it come out as a barcode? Who knows? No hints? Hints? If you don't know the answer, how can I give you a hint? But you have to remember something, right? Like, did it have to do with food or a person's name? You shook her head and spoke. I saw it, but only for a second. How could you forget something so important? Well, at least I know my address, and phone number, and birthday, and my social security number, and I even know my name. Now who's forgetting the important things? Wow, what a jerk. I looked again at the paper that we thought contained the password. I was obsessed with solving a puzzle we had found. It was frustrating. Now who's forgetting the important things? What else could I say to that? It's not like I wanted to lose my memory. Watch this. I'll remember everything just to show you. But first, I had to figure it out. I had my mind set on it. It felt like I was solving it at the rite of passage. Solving it was a rite of passage that I could help restore my memory. I'm just thinking. Okay, so I have the option of saying I get it or I don't get it. I am pretty sure I get it. Yeah, let me just say I get it. Could it be? I thought for a second. Alright, now I have the option of what if I turn it over? What if I turn it upside down? What if I heat it up with the flame? What if I rip it in two? What if I tilt it? What if I wad it up? I'm gonna say what if I tilt it, because that obviously is the solution, guys. I thought about if I had tilted it a little, I might be able to see something. Alright, now I have the choice of tilt it a little to the side, tilt it almost completely to the side, tilt it a little vertically, tilt it almost completely vertically. I'm just gonna do it completely vertically. Yeah. Ta-da! Look at that. I got it! Listen, if you take the paper and set it like this... What? Let's see. The empty fall sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. What is this? What? Let me see that! You grabbed the slip of paper from my hand. She copied me and set the paper sideways in the same way. You're right! Amazing! Really amazing, kid! You grabbed my hand and shook it happily, but she didn't stop there. She pulled me close for a big bear hug. Squeeze! My face was being pressed hard against her bust. Of course, it's a game for... Okay. It was a nice fit. A little too nice. I struggled for air. I give up. Have mercy. I almost felt dangerously excited by her softness. Oh, why did I read that? This game. I hate you. We did it! Yeah! Finally, you let me go. She jumped around gleefully like a rabbit. I was glad she was happy, even though she almost did crush me. Watching you all happy like that seemed to wash away all my irritation and fatigue. The stress I was feeling simply faded away. It was like the winter frost melting away from the spring sun. I get it now! You can't see it from right above. But if you look at it from the side, I see it now. But why do you suppose it came out in a barcode like this? The printer is probably in bad shape. Think so? It's hard to believe that this would make it print out like this. I don't care about that now. Anyway, as long as I have the password, things are fine. The empty fall sky. A single cuckoo calls out. Brings a chill to me. I think that's a variation of Masaoka Shiki's The Empty June Sky. A single cuckoo calls out. Brings a chill to me. Okay, I guess it's a variation of the entire poem. Okay. So if I input it like this, the same haiku. Wow. Alright, let's try for a password. A recharge you face the screen triumphantly, but tap 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 tap. She puts it in. Okay then. Tap. Access denied. Invalid name or password. But she still couldn't get into the sea-level information. And then suddenly... What in the... The screen went black. What just happened? I don't know. But it looks like it automatically shut down the authorization screen. Huh? After a moment, the screen returned to normal. You pecked away at the keyboard and called up the authorization screen again. Access denied. Cannot log in with the given name at this time. What is this? She tried it again. The result was the same. What does this mean? Maybe I entered the wrong password too many times and it activated some kind of protection. In other words, Limit has completely denied access to my mom's name. So we'll have to give up for the time being, I guess. You shrugged exaggeratively. And he went so much trouble to read this for me, kid. But from the start, there was no guarantee that what's on that paper is the password. It would make more sense if this was some kind of hint that my mom uses to remember the password. It wouldn't make much sense to call the file password otherwise. It would be too dangerous. I wondered why Yu's mom would choose that poem. I wondered what was hidden in the 17 syllables of it. There was no answer to my questions. A while after that, we heard from Takeshi that the repairs in the warehouse had been completed with no problems. We finally gathered again in the conference room. We were killing time. We still couldn't figure out any way to escape. Still, we didn't want to feel like we were completely wasting our time, so we decided to wander all around Lemu one more time. As we made the rounds, Takeshi said, "What do you think the record is from running from one end of Lemu to the other? I think we should give the tuna sandwich a completely new flavor." He made a number of stupid comments. We all, with the exception of Sugumi of course, listened, half exasperated and half interested. We all knew, as long as we were doing something, it kept our minds off the things that we couldn't change. Like how there was no way out or remembering where we were. We decided to meet at 8 p.m. for dinner. Everyone was left to wander around freely until then. I decided to help you repair the infirmary scanning machine. Of course, it was some kind of indirect thank you to her for looking after me when I was feeling down for 2 days. It's 6:34 p.m. Alright then, shall we get started? You plop down on the floor with tools and parts spreading out the repair manual. Alright, let me take a sip. Okay. Of course the repairs were Yu's job. I was just there to help. I was used to handing her tools and was getting better at predicting which tool she would be using next. I thought if there was an exam for expertise in handling pliers or screws, I would pass with flying colors. But the repairs were tougher than I imagined. You grunted as she stared at the diagram. You still haven't figured it out? Sorry. Maybe if you'd be quiet, I might. It's not here. You searched all over, but you couldn't find the cause of the problem. You said everything looked normal. In other words, there was no sign of anything that was broken. Geez, this good-for-nothing, stupid, idiotic... Ugh! We get a special frame of you looking irritated. All of a sudden, you lost her cool, pounded on the diagram, and kicked the toolbox. Wham! Hey, that's not very grown-up of you. You know, we could ask Sara about how to fix it later. Do you want to clean up for now? Oh, sorry. Hey, so there you two are. Oh, hey, Takeshi. What are you doing here, Kurinari? Nothing really, I just thought I'd get some coffee or something to wake me up. What about you two? What are you and the kid up to? Oh, can't you tell by looking? If I could, then you think I'd be asking? Takeshi, do you think you could lend us a hand? Sure, I can do that. You want me to help picking up this stuff? Yeah. We split up and started picking up the tools strewn about the room. Screwdrivers and screws had flown all around to the walls. Do you think we got everything? No, there's still one more right there. There was something in the corner. Hey, what's this? Takeshi picked up something that looked like an electric plug. No, it was an electric plug. The cable continued disappearing under the floor. It was embedded there. I wonder what this is supposed to power. In the wall was an outlet, the same as in the house. Takeshi struck the plug into the wall. Whirr. Hey, something is moving. Oh, hey, it looks like it was for that machine over there. Which means it would appear unplugged. Hey, by the way, Takeshi shot a question at me and you who were speechless. What were you doing in here anyway? They're not saying anything. I think they're embarrassed because the thing wasn't plugged in and that's why it wasn't working. Just then, somebody else appeared. It was Tsugumi. But when she saw us, she clicked her tongue in an irritated way and turned to leave the room. The door opened again immediately. That time, it was Sara. It could have been my imagination, but she kind of looked angry about something. Sara stood her ground, blocking the exit so that Tsugumi couldn't leave. Out of the way. Quit running away and answer. I said out of the way. I said give me an answer! It seemed like the two of them were fighting, but I wonder why. I couldn't think of any reason for the two of them would want to fight. If you keep shouting, the three of them will hear. I don't care! Hey, what's going on, you two? Takeshi asked as he approached them. That's what I want to know. Tsugumi said that with a mixed with a sigh, and then she gave Takeshi the evil eye. What are you all planning anyway? What are we? Wait, what are you planning? Stop with all this nonsense already. Hey, Mayo, what happened? You said it as if to calm Sara's nerves. She still looked pretty riled up. She was staring at Tsugumi bitterly. Tsugumi? Huh? For an instant, I thought that Tsugumi's face twisted sadly. Now get out of my way. She turned around. Tsugumi tried to push Sara out of the way. Sara resisted. So what? Did you run away from him? Same as you're trying to run away from me now? Sara said that as the two of them wrestled. Who's him? What is that all about? I'm curious. Ooh. Tsugumi stopped moving. So you did. Sara crossed her arms tightly. You're disgusting. You're inhuman! Sugumi lifted her right hand as if to hit Sara, but Takeshi grabbed her hand. Hey, calm down! Sara didn't miss her chance. Slap! Sara's open palm echoed Sugumi's cheek. You little... Ah! The raging Sugumi threw off Takeshi and stole from Sara whatever it was that she was holding. She went to throw whatever it was she had against the wall. Ah! But she stopped an instant before. Stop! Takeshi went to grab her arm. Sugumi's arm went slack, and then something slipped to the floor. It clattered loudly. Something glittered as it bounced. It looked like a pendant. Sara scooped up the pendant as if she were picking up a fragile piece of ice. Sara's back quivered tensely. Sara looked back down, dropping her hand. She squeezed her fist around the pendant. Mayo? You said it softly, but Sara didn't appear to hear. Oh, we get a special illustration, and it's Sugumi over Sara, who's clutching this pendant tightly. Sara lifted her face. Biting her lip, she glared at Sugumi. Both of her eyes were welling up with tears. They don't say anything. Sugumi stared coldly at Sara as if looking down at her from above. Sara withstood the glare and stared back at Sugumi, enraged. She continued to resist silently, trying not to shed tears and not to sob. The scene was just like, how to put it? It was like the emotion that was about to explode to the surface had sunk away to nothingness. The next thing I knew, Sugumi had turned to leave the room. Sara still focused her glare on Sugumi. I looked back and forth between the two of them. Finally, I let my eyes trail off after Sugumi. You was there to help Sara, but first I wanted to find out what the fight was all about. 6:53 p.m. I ran out of the infirmary and called out to Sugumi. Hey, Sugumi! But she ignored me and headed for the corridor. Why does it always turn out like this? Even if I was tired of everything, I had no choice but to chase after her. Hey, wait! She shot me a glance but didn't slow her step. I said wait! I caught up to her and grabbed her arm, trying to stop her, but she shook off my hand. I told you never to touch me. Sorry. Then Sugumi started walking away again, as if nothing had happened. Still, I continued after her without giving up. I started talking to her as I walked next to her, peering into her face. Why are you fighting with Sara? It's none of your business. Sugumi answered without looking at me, letting me know my questions were unwanted. Don't go poking your nose into things that don't concern you. How can this not concern me? I thought I had said enough. It probably doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't have any right going in to involve myself with people's private affairs, but still. No. Well, actually, it might have something to do with you. What? Sugumi strode away. I stood stunned for a moment. I soon pulled myself together and started after her again. No matter how much I called out to her, Sugumi didn't respond. At last, I caught up with her again. We were at the gate boarding the jellyfish gondola. Finally, Sugumi stopped there. It didn't look as though she had stopped there with any intention of riding the gondola, but it didn't look like she was going to move elsewhere either, or even sit down for that matter. Her eyes were just trained on that half-transparent gondola which partially visible beyond the gate. Hey. It looked like she was completely ignoring me. You don't have to respond. Just listen to what I'm going to say. I won't ask you to trust us anymore. But that doesn't mean that you have to fight with anyone. We're all in the same situation here. We have to help each other. Sugumi turned and faced me. What an insightful comment. Don't joke around. I'm just telling you exactly how I feel. I figured that I should take the fact that she responded to me in slight change in attitude. I shot her another question. Why do you think we're your enemies? What reason could we possibly have? I already told you. I can't trust you. You're all acting suspiciously. And I don't know whether you're acting of your own will, but still. I don't get you. What exactly is suspicious? You're trying to do the same thing that you did before. What? The same thing as what before? If you really lost your memory, then maybe you don't know. There's got to be something going on behind the scenes with this accident as well. You mean to tell me that you've experienced the same thing as this before? Tsugumi stared at me intensely. I took her look as an affirmation. In that case, I wondered if the same had held true for me. So does that mean that you can foresee what's happening? Huh? I'm right, aren't I? So it's not just me then. But how come I can see into the future of all of a sudden? See the future? No, the feeling I had was less of one seeing it and more like knowing the future, or possibly having experienced it before. Did I know it? Had I experienced it? Why? Was that because of the same thing was happening again? That's it! You and I must have traveled to the past, Tsugumi. Traveled to the past? Yep. The theory I had hit upon excited me. I was sure. It almost had to be. I have the same sense. I know the future. Back at the generator room, I knew that room had built up heat. And take this morning, I had the feeling that there would be trouble in the warehouse. And the first time I met Sara, I felt like I had experienced something like it before. Like, I think I probably experienced the same thing in my past. Tsugumi just stared at me. I could clearly see that she was flustered. Hey, tell me your story. When I asked Tsugumi that, it was as if she snapped back to reality, her expression and the look in her eyes back to normal. My story? What, are you kidding? As long as I can't tell if you're in this with the others, I won't tell you anything. I felt dejected, like I'd finally found someone that I could share my feelings with, but wouldn't. Listen, I told you before, it would be best for you if you stayed away from them. And me too. Why? You really get bogged down in the why of things, don't you? The why is not important. She crossed her arms and said that forcefully. But if there is a reason, it's so that things turn out the best for you. For example, your memory loss could be because of them. Huh? That was a shocking idea. Her words just about stopped my heart for a moment. There's no way. I've never even entertained that idea. Tsugumi turned to walk away from me, ignoring me in my strange, dismayed confusion. I didn't have any power left to chase after her. Oh, and there is one more thing. As long as we're shooting the breeze, shall I predict a bit of future for you? I slowly lifted my face and looked at Tsugumi. She looked serious all of a sudden. Tsugumi predicted that if you continue to let yourself be used by them, on the 7th, you will die. 7:21 p.m. Ugh, wow. Alright. What a revelation. Anyway. Let's continue on for a little bit more and then I gotta go to bed. I trudged along, looking down. The light reflected cold and hard off the walls and floor. Tsugumi's words had echoed through my mind. Tsugumi had said not to trust Takeshi, you, and the others. That my lost memory was a fault of theirs. And their behavior was suspect? But I wondered if that could really be true. I didn't see how it could be. They all seemed trustworthy to me. The type of people you could really depend on. I had only spent a few days with them, but I was sure. Besides, even if she were right, there were lots of things that were inexplicable. If Takeshi and some others were scheming something, if they were trying to deceive Tsugumi and me, then it should have been visible in their words and actions. There was no way that normal people could put on an act as elaborate as that. If one or two were trying to lie, it might be possible, but even with my memory impaired, I would still be able to tell if they were all trying to do it. It seemed that you, Sara, and everyone else were reacting naturally, as one might expect in each situation. So it didn't seem possible. It wasn't possible. The most impossible thing to explain was why the accident was caused. Why lie to Tsugumi and me? There was no reason. It would have been impossible anyway. I wondered if I was going to die. That was stupid. If that was the case, it was smarter to help each other more now than ever. The problem is probably with Tsugumi. That's what I thought. Maybe she had some grudge against Takeshi and the others from before. Or maybe she was imagining everything and was just paranoid. Or maybe she was trying to make me paranoid about the others and draw us into conflict, or something else? No, I had to stop it. It was too crazy. That was all just my imagination working overtime, nothing but paranoia. It had to be that the severity of the situation was putting incredible mental strain on everyone. I wanted to trust everyone, and I wanted to be trusted. So, I would continue to treat everyone as I had up until then. That is what I decided. Rather than worrying about who to trust, we needed to worry about how the situation could have happened. If we knew the cause, we might be able to think of a way out. I remembered that Tsugumi had said something else. You are trying to do the same exact thing that you did before. I wondered about my ability to foresee the events. Was I repeating the past? I wonder if I really did travel in time. Finally, I arrived back at the infirmary, but there was no one there anymore. Huh? Where did everybody go? Maybe they're back in the conference room? Hey, Sara? I called out to her through the microphones in the room, but there was no reply. Sara had said that the complex's sensors were not yet functioning everywhere, so I figured I'd just have to go searching myself. I sighed and headed out to the corridor. Oh, that's right. I had an idea. The security office was nearby. I could use the observation monitors there. I might be able to find out what was going on, and maybe find out where everyone was. So, I made for the security office. Okay. I think I'm going to stop it here. So now we're in the security office. I think this is going to be another big one. Okay, so, yay! Thanks for joining, if you're there. I can't tell. But, yeah. Good night.